like, I'm killing this birthing stuff. Like, hey, I can't feel a thing. I can't feel no contractions. Like that. Grabbing the bed, I was like, God, please help me. Like, please. Like, get ready with me while I tell you my birth story. I got maybe 2 hours of sleep last night. It's the first time that I've had issues with her sleeping. And I was just looking at her. She was looking at me. She was crying. I was crying. I'm exhausted. I got 2 hours of sleep. But I am working on keeping my promises to myself. I said I was going to wake up and film this today. So this is what we're doing. I'm thinking I want to start with my hair first. I was going to crimp it, but I kind of think my waves dried like really pretty. So I haven't styled my hair in so long. So at my 38-week appointment, me and my OB decided that we would do an induction at 39 weeks because I was high risk. I had pre-gestational diabetes and polyhydramnios. She said that they would call to schedule me. So I got the call that Friday and they were like, we have you down for next Wednesday, May the 23rd at 5 p.m. to come in for your induction. You just come in, check in at the nurse's station and they'll get you ready. My doctor really wanted to deliver my baby, so she's on call from 6 a.m. to 6 a.m. 24-hour shift that Thursday. So I would come in that Wednesday night. They would start like the induction, and then by the next morning she would break my water, blah blah blah. So I get a call. From the labor and delivery unit on that Tuesday morning. And I answered the phone and they were like, hey, we have you down for tonight, Tuesday, for the wait list for inductions, and we just wanted to let you know we're not going to be able to get you in tonight. And I was like, I was told to come in Wednesday for my induction. And they were like, what? Like, who told you that? And I was like, well, the lady that called me on the phone, she told me to come in Wednesday. And they were like, let me call you back. They called my doctor and found out her on-call schedule changed, and they didn't like notify me, so she would be on call all day Wednesday and not Thursday. So if I would have came in Wednesday, then she wouldn't have been there to deliver my baby. So she told them, like, I need her to get in tonight. But they called me back and they're like, the problem is the labor and delivery unit's completely full. We're like, call me back at 6 p.m. and see if we have any beds available. So I called back at 6 p.m. They said we did have some beds available, but there's some people in the OBED that will probably like be admitted. So call back at 8 p.m. just to make sure. I called back at 8. They were like, we don't have room for you. Call your OB tomorrow. Figure out like when to reschedule it, whatever. And I'm just thinking, I'm 39 weeks. She's not on call at all this week. Like, I don't know what I'm going to do. I was like, okay, I'll wake up when the office opens tomorrow and I'll call them. I pulled an all-nighter that night watching Secret Lives of Mormon Wives. And I just had like a thought. I was like, what if my doctor comes in tomorrow and she realizes I'm not there and she's like, no, like, let's get her in ASAP. So I went to bed at like 6 a.m. and I woke up at like 7:45 and I was like, let me just check my phone and make sure. I had 3 missed calls from the hospital. So I called them and they were like, hey, we were trying to see if you could get here by 8 a.m. And I was like, I live an hour away. Is there any way like we can come in later? And they were like, can you be here by 9? So I was like, oh my god. So I mean, it was just, I didn't have time to process it. I literally got up and like started rushing. We already had our bags packed, but I had to like get a shower, I had to shave, I had to get myself together. So we rushed to the hospital. We get there, they pull us, like, we wait in the little lobby for a little bit, and then they pull us back to our room. They start like the induction process, which is like, I got changed into a gown. There was 2 nurses like tag teaming to like make it go faster. The one nurse that came to this forearm, she was like, can I do your IV? I was like, sure. And I've never had like an IV in my forearm. This hurts so bad, I can't even lie. And I was the least nervous about the IV, about any sticks. Like, I was the least nervous about that, and that's what hurt me the most. And if anyone knows me, knows I was terrified for labor. Like, it took over my brain for months. Like, I couldn't get over it. I was so terrified. I thought I was gonna die. I like couldn't imagine myself going through that. Like, so she come over to do my IV and she sticks it in and she's like, oh yeah, it blew. Like, I mean, it hurt so bad, but I looked down, I mean, it's like swollen red, starting to bruise already. She's like, yeah, it blew. And she asked the other nurse, she was like, should we just leave it in? And the nurse was like, no, because it's not going to work later when we need it. So she's like, I'm sorry, like, can I stick you again? I was like, sure. So then she comes over here, she sticks me right here. This hurt the whole time. Like, every time I moved, I was like, I couldn't even, like, bend my wrist, too. It's such an inconvenient spot to have it. And then we had a little bit of a scare because they were like, okay, we have to, like, check baby's positioning on a, like, ultrasound, bedside ultrasound. So they pulled the bedside ultrasound in. Apparently, like, the settings weren't right or something, so they were, like, fiddling with it. They kept, like, looking at my stomach. They couldn't tell what, like, body parts they were looking at. They couldn't find her head. I'm sitting there laying, like, I'm sorry, y'all. So I had 2 nurses at this bedside ultrasound monitor trying to find the head of my baby, and then they call in the charge nurse. Charge nurse comes in, and she's like, can't figure it out either. I'm like, I'm freaking out. Like, I literally was silent. Like, I literally was laying there, like. And finally, they were like, yep, we see a head in the canal. Like, that's all we needed to see. Like, okay. So after they got me all prepped and ready, they gave me the tiniest dose of Cytotec, and they said that it would help my cervix soften some, because when they checked me, I was like a 1 closed. Like, they couldn't get their finger all the way through. Like, if you know, like, cervix, or but the Cytotec would kind of help, like, loosen, like, get things going, like, my cervix to, like, break down and thin out. And I heard that, like, some people go into labor from it. So I was like, you know, does this send you into labor? And they were like, I mean, potentially, but typically, like, people go on all day. So my doctor comes in, she's like, let me check you, see if you progress. She's like, oh, yep, you're 1. I can get my finger all the way through. Your baby's head is, like, rolling around on my finger right now, by the way. And she was like, do you want me to go ahead and try to break your water, or put in a Foley balloon? It will make you progress so much faster. And I was like, sure, you can try. So she sticks the hook in there, tries to break my water. She wasn't going to force it, so she says, like, no, but let me try the Foley balloon. She tried that, like, didn't want to force it. She's like, you know what, I'll come back after your next dose of Cytotec, and I'll do all that. So I already started feeling crampy. I was feeling, like, pretty crampy, and I'm pretty sure I was having back labor, because, like, they would come consistently, and my back was hurting, and I was like, ooh, yeah. But I didn't want to request for epidural yet, but I knew how much pain I was already in. I knew when she breaks my water, it's going to, like, ramp up. So I told my nurse, I was like, I need the epidural before she breaks that water. Like, that's the only thing I need. Okay, just please remember this. And I think at this time, my nurses had switched shifts. So I went from, like, Kelly or whatever her name was to Megan. And I love you, Megan. I love Megan. She held my hand through the whole thing. She was just so nice to me when I was really going through it. So they were like, got it, you want the epidural before next time, okay, whatever. She's like, can I offer you some pain medicine right now? I was like, no. I was trying to be, like, all bad and stuff. She comes in the next time to, like, bring me water or something. I was like, bring me that pain medicine, bring me that pain medicine. So I was like, yeah, can you give me the pain medicine? She was like, yeah. So she came and pushed some, like, Stadol into my IV. She was like, some people don't like the way this makes you feel, but if you don't like it, it wears off quick, whatever. So she pushed that thing in. Next thing you know, I'm, like, on cloud 9. Like, I'm in a different universe. I'm over there, like, I'm laying on my side. And, like, I can still feel all the pain of the contractions, but I was, like, in my own head, just, like, I don't even know what I was thinking. I wish I could have, like, recorded myself in that moment, which I did have. Like, if you go back and watch my birth vlog, I was, like, on the Stadol while I was filming that one clip. So you can kind of see, like, where I was at, like, in my mindset. Which is funny, but I forgot to mention that before she gave me this Stadol, she said that she had to check how dilated I was, because she couldn't give me pain medicine if I was, like, after a certain point of dilation, because it can affect the baby. So she went to check me, and I was at, like, literally, like, a 3-4, and I was like, oh, all these contractions were doing something, because I was feeling like a wimp. I was like, I'm about to ask for the epidural, and I'm only 1 centimeter closed. Like, this is going to be a long process. I was, like, so shook that I was 3 centimeters. I was like, I was so excited. And so then I got my second dose, and, like, an hour later, my doctor comes in. She's like, you ready? You ready for me to break your water? I was like, I told them I need the epidural. She's like, let me go get them. Let me go get them. We're going to get you the epidural. So, whatever. My nurse comes back in, Megan. I love her. She comes back in, she's like, this anesthesiologist is really nice. I mean, this anesthesiologist is really good at his job, but don't be offended because he's really serious. I'm like, okay, like, okay. So he comes in, he really is, he's serious. And he's like, you know, bend over. I'm like, you know, I'm doing whatever he says, like, whatever. And honestly, the epidural hurt me. I mean, I know some people say they don't feel it, but, I mean, my contractions weren't, like, at a 9-10 level, so I could feel the epidural a lot more. But it did kind of hurt. Like, I shed a little tear. Megan was in front of me, like, oh, that's kind of harsh, but Megan was in front of me, holding me, and I broke out into a sweat because it felt like he took the needle in. Like, I felt the numbing shot, and I kind of, like, jumped a little bit, and it felt like he put the needle in of the epidural and was, like, I guess finding the right spot, but he was, like, jerking it in and out. Like, I could feel every little prick, and I was just like, please. But when it was over, honey, we laid back. I started going numb. I was like, okay, period. Like, I'm killing this birthing stuff. Like, hey, I can't feel a thing. I can't feel no contractions. Like, that's what I was thinking. So then, stuff go real south. So my doctor comes in, she breaks my water, boom, boom, boom. She's like, period. It was successful. It felt like I peed it was just felt like a bunch of like warm pee just coming out of me. It was uncomfortable. I was like, ooh, I don't like this. And every time you adjust, you get like a little squirt of pee out. I'm like, I don't like this, but whatever. I can't feel a thing. Ay. And honestly, I can't even remember her doing my little catheter because I didn't feel a thing. Like, some people get freaked out about the thought of having a catheter in. I didn't feel them take it in or put it out, honey. I couldn't feel nothing. That epidural had me right. And they gave me this little button. They were like, look, you can press this button like every 15 minutes. Like, if you're starting to feel a little something, like, press the little button and it'll boost it for you. Like, I was like, period. So everything's going good. Chilling. My mom and my little brother get there. And I'm like talking to them. I'm like, hi, I can't feel a thing. Hey. Like, I'm having a blast. And then all of a sudden, I'm like, I feel a little something. I'm like, let me hit this little boost button. Oh, and I forgot to mention, so I'm ADHD. I can't tell stories. So basically, they had me on the peanut ball. And it's like this ball that like helps open your cervix. And like you put it between your legs and like they put you on your side. Well, anyways, I was on the left side, peanut ball, numb, couldn't feel a thing. My mom gets there. Megan's like, hey, like, let's move you to your right side. So they moved me to my right side with the peanut ball. That's when I'm talking to my mom. So I'm like, yeah, I can't feel a thing. Like, I'm feeling good, everything. So then, this is where it starts to go south. I'm like, ooh, I start to feel a little contract. Like, it's a little something slight. I was like, I'm starting to feel some pain. So then I press the button. Right? I keep pressing it. I'm like, because this pain's getting more and more intense. Like, more and more intense. I keep pressing the button. Nothing's happening. And next thing you know, like, it went from 0 to 100 real quick. Like, my family's in the room. I couldn't even see them. I was in so much pain. I was, like, grabbing the bed. I was like, God, please help me. Like, please. Like, I was crying. I was like, Megan, please help me. Like, I can't do this, Megan. Like, I was screaming. I was crying. I wasn't screaming that loud. Like, you probably couldn't hear me outside the room. Actually, I don't know. I was in so much pain. I like, literally had never felt like pain like that before. It felt like my insides were being shredded, like, ripped into pieces every time that would happen. And I was having, like, bad back labor. Oh, my God, it was so terrible. Because they had started me on Pitocin, too. I forgot to mention that. I was on, like, the lowest dose of Pitocin. So I guess, like, you know, everything, my water was broken. I'm having these contractions. My epidural ain't working. And so Megan's finally like, let me call him in here. So she calls the anesthesiologist back in, and he brings like a boost. Like, he says it's like called a boost. It has like opioids and pain medicine, pain block, painkiller, whatever in it. And he comes and he like boosts it through my epidural, and I was like, ooh, like it feels cold down my back. Now I know, okay, because when I was hitting the little thing, I could feel it come down like the IV like tubing, but this was like down my back, and it felt wet and cold. And I was like, is it supposed to feel like wet? And he was like, do you feel wet or do you feel cold? And I was like, sir, I don't know. I mean, it could just be cold, but I think I'm feeling wet because I'm like still halfway kind of numb. I don't know. Oh, and I knew that epidural wasn't working because I could move my legs, I could move my feet. I was like, look, Megan, like, I'm kicking my feet, like, I could feel this stuff, Megan. I was freaking out. So then he was like, sit up, let me check. So I sat up. And he, like, looked at the tape, and he was like, no, you're good. Like, it's in there. I don't know what you're feeling. Like, give it 20 minutes for this boost to kick in. So I was just thinking, like, why me, God? Like, I'm one of those people that epidural don't work. I can't do this natural. Like, just take me. So then, yeah, so it was like an hour of me crying. My contractions were coming, like, a minute apart. Just, like, excruciating pain. At one point, like, my boyfriend was like, honey, like, calm down. I was like, I'm having a heart attack. Like, we laugh about it to this day. But no, I really thought I was gonna die. Like, I was in so much pain. I couldn't even believe how much pain I was in. So then finally, I kind of got a little rude to Megan, which I apologize to her for. And I love Megan because she came and visited me in my little hospital room on her next day shift to like see how me and baby were doing. Like, we just built a bond. Like, I'll never forget her. I really won't. And then she told me that patients like me, like when she was driving home, she was just thinking about like patients like me as of why she started her job in labor and delivery. And I was like, she's like, I wish all my patients could be like you. I was like, Megan, I love you, Megan. So basically I was like yelling at Megan because I'm like, no, this ain't working. Because she knew I didn't want to do the epidural again, because she knew it like hurt me the first time. I was like, we gotta figure this out. So she goes and talks to the charge nurse, and she told her like, oh, and I forgot to mention, I'm such a dodo bird. So basically, oh, this is gonna be so hard to edit. So basically, my doctor comes in and she's like, hey, I'm gonna put in this like Foley catheter inside your cervix. It's gonna monitor the baby's heartbeat like a little bit more efficiently, because my heartbeat monitor kept coming off. And she's like, I gotta go home and say goodnight to my kids. I gotta kiss them goodnight. I'm gonna put this in so I have peace of mind, so that they can like adjust your pitocin dose based on like how your baby's reacting. She's like, I'm not taking no chances. I love my doctor. Like, I had so much trust in her. So I was like, okay, perfect. So they put that in. I didn't feel it. So, and all this pain ramped up after she put that in. So Megan was like, I mean, I can try taking out the Foley bulb and like see if maybe it's like pushing on something, causing pain. I was like, no, Megan. And my mom was like, no, Megan. Like, we need an epidural. And I was like, Megan, give me the epidural. Like, I will go through it again. Like, if I can be out of this pain, like, please bring it. But I just knew in my head, I was like, I'm going to have to go through, like, how many contractions a minute apart until he gets here. And then I'm still. So, anyways, he comes in. And he, like, takes the tape off my back, and he's like, oh, like, the catheter ain't even in your back. Like, you must have adjusted in bed, and the catheter came out. And I was like, oh, my God. Like, I knew I wasn't crazy. Like, I felt crazy. So then he puts in a new epidural. Like, I go through that. At that point, I didn't even care. I was like, just give me the freaking epidural. Like, I really don't care. So, after he gave me the epidural, I laid back. And the first time I got the epidural, it kicked in real quick. Like, my legs were numb, everything. Nothing's happening. I'm laying there. I'm like, it's not going to work. Like, I'm still getting contractions a minute apart. Megan's like, give it 20 minutes to, like, fully kick in, you know. It's going to work for you, girl. Like, just give it 20 minutes. I'm like, I don't got 20 minutes. Like, I was in so much pain. I mean, I was sweating. I couldn't adjust in those beds. Like, those beds are the most uncomfortable thing I ever laid in my entire life. Like, I was just so uncomfortable, unbearably uncomfortable. So finally my contractions started getting like lighter and lighter and lighter and lighter, and I wasn't feeling them as much. And finally, when I was finally numb, I was like, oh my God, I could kiss the ground that man walks on. Bring him in. I want to kiss his feet. Like, Megan was like, hi. I was like on cloud nine, like, thank God I feel better. Megan, I looked at her, I was like so serious. I was like, Megan, can you please bring me a popsicle or something? She was like, I got cherry. I was like, please. So I'm eating my popsicle. My boyfriend's family comes in after all that, thank God. But then they were like, we heard you on the phone. I was like, oh no, like, y'all heard me acting a fool. So finally, I mean, I'm sitting there with the shakes. I'm like happy. I ate my popsicle, whatever. My mom's like, can we do a check on her again? Because that was some real contractions she was experiencing. Megan's like, sure. So last time they checked me, I was a 5. Because they checked me when they put that little Foley thing in, I guess. Last time they checked me, I was a 5. Megan goes to check me, and I'm just thinking, you know, I'm not thinking too much of it. She goes to check me, she's like, oh, I don't feel any cervix anymore. Like, you're complete. Like, you're full. Like, it's time to start pushing. I was like, oh, really? So I got kind of nervous for the whole pushing part, because I was like, ooh, like, I don't feel anything right now, but what's pushing gonna feel like? And I'm thinking about making a separate video, because this video is already way too long. I'm thinking about making a separate video on how my pushing method, because it's actually pretty easy, and I saw it from a girl on TikTok, and I'm telling you, I swear that is what worked for me. So Megan's like, yeah, hold on, like, let's get you ready. And I asked her, can you apply warm compress? She was like, I got you, girl. Like, I'm gonna do that. So she went and got her warm compress to like help prevent tearing. You know, next thing you know, my leg's wide open. My mom's on one side, my boyfriend's on the other side. They're like holding my leg up. And she's like, all right, let's do some practice pushes. So the first push, I was like I felt all the tension in my head. Like, I couldn't tell where I was pushing. That was like the first contraction. The second contraction, I finally like found that muscle to contract, and I was like pushing, and my mom and my boyfriend, I swear, like the first time I pushed, they were like, oh, she has so much hair. And I was like, oh my gosh, are you serious? It got me so excited. On the next set of contractions, I pushed, and she was like, whoa, let's stop here, I need to call your doctor. My doctor, and was like, we're about to start pushing. My doctor was like, okay, I'm coming. So we start pushing. She's like, whoa, Miss Girl, hold on, because she's coming out. Like, we're gonna have to wait. So I mean, I'm just in this like weird transitionary period waiting on my doctor. Finally my doctor runs in, everyone comes in, and my baby had meconium, which means they like pooped after the water, like they pooped in their water, so they're at high risk for respiratory issues. So they have the respiratory team in there, whatever. My doctor comes in, she's like, all right, let's deliver this baby. She's like, we're gonna do it in one push. You ready? And I thought she was capping. I thought she was just trying to hype me up. I'm talking about something. I pushed down, she pulled my baby out, and like, it was the most surreal experience I've ever experienced in my life, because all of a sudden, my baby came out so alive. Like, she, eyes wide open, and she just looked like, but she pulled her out. I'm looking at my baby. My baby's looking at me. I'm like in shock. Like, I immediately started crying. I didn't know if I would be a crier, and I wasn't gonna force tears, you know what I'm saying? But I started crying. I was like, my baby, like, she's so cute. Like, I couldn't believe it. It was like literally like the closest thing to heaven experience. Like, it was insane. I mean, it was crazy. She wasn't crying. She had swallowed a whole bunch of water as soon as she came out. And they took her over to the respiratory. You know, she still wasn't crying. She was kind of whiny, but they were like suctioning her out. I got to do my hour of skin to skin. Trey got to do his hour, or he got to do like an hour of skin to skin with her too. And yeah, I was just in love. I couldn't believe it. I got unexpectedly pregnant, and I was so depressed during my pregnancy. I just couldn't imagine what this baby would look like. I was like just so detached from her, because I was like, I don't even know what she looks like. I don't even know her, you know what I mean? She comes out, and I was like, oh my God, she's so beautiful. Like, she's so perfect. I cannot believe this is my baby. I just stared at her, and I still do. So yeah, that's my birth story. As someone who was super nervous for birth, I would do it 1,000 times and 1,000 times and 1,000 times again. Go through birth again, even if I knew it was going to go the exact same way that it went this time, I would do it again, like 100%. I would rather give birth than go through pregnancy. She came in the world at 12:32. That's a time I'll never forget. She's 5 weeks old today, and I'm just so in love with her. When I was doing my skin to skin, they went ahead and disconnected the epidural, and they went ahead and took out the catheter. I didn't feel it because I was still numb for a little bit. And by the time my hour was up, but yeah, to finish up this video, they took out the epidural. They were like, let's try to go to the bathroom. I was up and walking. I felt pretty normal. I was kind of sore down there. I did have a 1st-degree tear and had to get like 2 stitches. But yeah, I mean, the hospital stay, I had like so much energy. I was getting like 1-2 hours of sleep, but I was just running on a dream, baby. I was walking around the hospital room. I was getting stuff done, keeping stuff cleaned up. It was like honestly amazing. And then I got home after those 3 days of pure bliss, and I cried for a couple days. I was really sad. I was like, she's gonna grow up, everything's moving so fast, and it still is, but I feel like my hormones have calmed down a little bit. But yeah, thank y'all for listening to my birth story. I love y'all. Come back and see me.